I'm gonna die.
No, you're not. You're Australian. We're impossible to kill.
Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Battlefield 1 hard difficulty walkthrough. This is the third war story. I'm gonna butcher this. It is Avanti, Savoia? Savoia? It's something. You'll see it yourself, and I don't want to butcher the language too much. But this is the first of two sequences, and it is Hola Vittoria. This is probably one of the easiest missions in the game, mainly because we're wearing a massive, ridiculous suit of armour. And I don't really get this part, because for the most, this game has stuck quite firmly to the motif of this war. But I don't remember knowing about people who strapped on ridiculous amounts of like ironclad armour and were able to take bullets from planes, because of course I don't think that's how this works. The thing with armour is it has to take away a lot of the force, doesn't it, to stop it from penetrating, but to take away the force it has to spread it, and you can only spread it over a certain area if you get hit. So it still hurts like a bitch, you just don't get shot. So if you get hit by a plane or anything big, anything really, and it hits against this armour, it's still going to rattle against your body. So this kind of technique of defence, you would think everybody would have had it during the war if it was even remotely effective, but I really don't think it is. It's just one of those video game moments, and I'm appreciative of it because it's kind of fun. The gun you're using here is a light machine gun. It's really going to teach you how to feather the trigger if you don't know how to do that in Battlefield. One thing I've noticed too, which I don't think applies to multiplayer, but definitely, I don't think applies to campaign, but definitely applies to multiplayer, is if you move in this game, it affects your reticle. And when you watch this, look how still my reticle is as I'm strafing around shooting dudes, and you really don't get a full appreciation for it in this mode, for just how much it affects your shot. And I've gone into multiplayer, and I've been putting my target on people, and it's been fucking missing because it's been waving all over the place. And I finally realised what it was. You do not want to move when you shoot in that game. In the multiplayer, it literally gives you some kind of accuracy penalty. And I'm a Call of Duty player, and I'm a scrub running around like an idiot, so to me it was really weird. I couldn't understand why I couldn't hit people. And it turns out, the moment you stop moving, or strafing, or whatever, then your everything just centers and everything becomes easier to shoot. But telling somebody in a competitive multiplayer to stop moving while you shoot people is like a death sentence, and I'm so unused to doing it. And at first I didn't notice it too much because I was using a gun where I could hip fire, so I was just hip firing, and I knew it was going to be a little bit less accurate. But when you use those rifles, there are moments where you have your iron sight on a dude and it's just not hitting him. And my internet was fine. I did a speed test last night. 64 meg download, 20 up. Like, fantastic numbers for me. I was in heaven. But there were moments where I'm shooting a dude, I'm getting nothing, and he just melted me. And I think it's all to do with some of the features that you don't particularly... I didn't know were a thing that I was reading about last night. Like, apparently on this game, when you're prone or crouched or not moving, it said you took less damage. Like, if you're running or moving, the critical modifier on your character was higher, and I don't know if that's, like, you know, just somebody who doesn't, who's completely confused the game, but it seemed legit from what I was reading, and it sounds like something that I think is quite interesting, but it's one of those things I guess I never came across, because when I played Battlefield, I was a scout, and all you do as a scout is you chuck those sensor balls, don't you? You drop those mortar strikes, and then you counter-snipe all the people you can see. Every so often, you put your pistol on and you rush up. But playing the scout in this game, because the first rifle doesn't have a good zoom, I wasn't digging it. And I was spending more time with my bloody 1911 on, so I just didn't do it. So there's a lot of interesting stuff in the multiplayer, and it's a ton of fun, so I'm hoping to play more of it. But we're pushing up a mountain at the moment, and you'll notice I don't really get hit a lot in this particular mode because you're so strong. Like, this is the most direct shooting you're going to do in this game, and because we are completely clad in this ridiculous armor suit, you're never really in any trouble outside of armored turrets or multiple enemies who are all tagging you at the same time, and it really makes you feel powerful. Like, I feel more powerful in this suit than I did in the giant mech in Gears 4, because in Gears 4, even in the giant mech, you could get instantly killed, whereas in this, I don't think you can. And it's kind of funny for a nice juxtaposition, because the second level that leads after this, we lose our armor. And if you're still in the mentality of having this armor on when you play that second level, you're going to die in the space of a second, because you die really quick without it. And I just ran out into the middle of a field trying to shoot people, forgetting I wasn't in that armor, which was fun. Oh, by the way, too, guys, you know that gun I just had on then? One of my favourite guns that I was saying, oh, I hope it's not too high level in the multiplayer. I think you have to be rank 10 as the medic to get it, which is the highest rank that you need to be to get a weapon as a medic, which is ridiculous, because that gun is sweet, and I'm probably never going to use it. But I do like the medic. I do like chucking the health packs and running around and getting people up. I've got a gameplay of me playing the medic on a map. I've no idea what the map was. I've never played it before. I'm playing, what is the game mode? Conquest. And we get stomped. Like, it started off pretty close, and then we just start losing flags, and I keep getting myself put in places where I have to defend rather than cap flags, and I always get frustrated when I'm not capping flags in a game where there's flags. You know, in Call of Duty, I care more about kills. I always have, but I will do the objective if I can. In Battlefield, I'm all about doing whatever you're meant to be doing. TDM just doesn't do anything for me in this game, because I feel like it's a waste of what the game is. You know, I think that's why I enjoy the operation mode so much, because in the operations mode you're doing these set objectives that are kind of a mixture of both rush and conquest, and it's a big kind of large scale battle, and you feel like you're pushing towards something that's not just killing people. And there were some really great moments of the mission I played where I was just running in with a ton of lads, just getting in there, and it's all going nuts and the shit blowing up, and really exciting. You know, running between cover to cover, getting shot at, hearing the cracks of bullets firing past your ear as snipers try to take you down, and like grenades everywhere, and everybody running around with that hipfire assault SMG, which seems pretty good. But once again, it leads to some interesting moments where, like, you see how fast these people are dropping? Multiplayer people don't drop this fast, but you seem to. And it's that weird thing of, there are times when I felt like I put at least 10 to 15 shots in a dude, and I got instantly melted, and I couldn't tell you why. It's just one of those weird things. Maybe on his screen he felt the same, you know, maybe it was a little bit of latency, but there were other moments where you could get a shot on people and they just buckled, and it wasn't a headshot or anything like that. There were just times where your bullets felt like they did the job, and there were other times where they felt like they didn't. You know, I had moments where the pistol felt stronger than my rifle, and I don't know. You know, it feels a bit weird, but it is only early, guys. It's only the first day of the multiplayer, of the actual multiplayer when it's been turned on. There's plenty of opportunity for things to be changed and tweaked. A lot of the performance issues that you can have, hopefully they'll get remedied, because look at Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 was a shit show on launch, and then it got a lot better, didn't it, by like 6 to 8 months down the line when they started fixing things and getting it all smoothened out. I have no doubt that this will be the same, and it runs a lot better, it seems. I have not had any of the frame rate problems that I've seen certain people complain about on forums. But this is the final part of the mission now, guys. We're going to be pushing up this beautiful countryside, and we're going to be taking out the next area. This is a good opportunity to work on your dynamite kills, because there's a challenge on this level for, I think, getting 5 dynamite kills. The dynamite in this game is pretty powerful, and it goes quite far. So you can get to this little crest that we're coming up against here on this hill, and just toss it over and get at anybody who's straggling around. But look how good this gun is. So, I mean, it's a light machine gun, so you expect it to be. But it's got crazy range, it's got really good accuracy at times. 1 to 2 bullet kills. Really fun gun to play with, and this mission really does stand out against the other ones, because it's one of the only ones where you will spend the entire time boots on the ground shooting stuff. You know, you're meant to shoot stuff in this one, and it's one of my favourite ones, it has to be said. And it should give you some hope too if you're, for whatever reason, having difficulty with the campaign. I never died on this level. There's a few levels I didn't die on, and this is one of them. I only died on the Lawrence of Arabia level once, which was the tank that at the end from the train got me. So that should give you some hope for that, because that is actually a tricky mission. And then the 4th level, which is the runner, I died on the final defensive part with the flamethrower guy, so like, if you can count your deaths on 2 hands, I think you did well. Because the difficulty is just, it's not the most challenging or taxing thing you're going to come across. I'm really hoping that in about, 6 days, Titanfall's campaign, Titanfall 2, is legitimately hair-pullingly nightmarish. I want it to be legendary in that they came in, they created a campaign that was really new, really innovative, really different, really just out of the blue and awesome, and it was also hard as nails. That's what I'm really, really looking forward to. But we're on the turret now, and we get to play with incredibly high sensitivity, because the turret sensitivity it's pretty crazy. It's fun though when you start getting those hits and you start getting a feel for it. It has to be said, I really, really like the sensitivity of this game. I got in the multiplayer and I was a bit swimmy with my aim when it was, you know, in my face and intense, and I had to make the shots count. But once I settled down, once I got my hands kind of warmed up, it feels really good. I'm really enjoying the way you feel in this game when it comes to aiming, and the way you feel when you move. The only problem with the movement being so cool in this game and looking so nice on that extended FOV is it makes me want to sprint more. And in Battlefield, I always felt like you shouldn't be sprinting that much. You know, it's not Call of Duty. So I definitely had to tell myself to stop sprinting because I was going nuts. And then when I calmed it down a little bit, it felt a bit more like a Battlefield experience rather than me just running and gunning with an SMG, which I'm definitely going to do, but on select maps. The map I was playing on had a lot of really long alleyways and streets, and it was one of those things where when you were in the middle of them, you were dead to rights if anybody had a rifle. And if you're there with like a shotgun, which I'm definitely going to hopefully use the shotguns because they seem really good, you had to get lucky or come up against somebody who wasn't particularly a good shot. And I came up against some people that seemed to be pretty good shots. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.